This is the problem that we were seeing in the last class. Okay, uh, we were asked to find out x of 0, giving x of z as the signal, as the z transform signal. Okay, and ROC is given to be outside the circle with radius half. Fine. Now we say directly using the initial value theorem, but you should understand to use the initial value theorem. Okay, we need to have an x of n which is causal sequence or a right-sided sequence. Only for right-sided sequence the initial value theorem can be applied. X of 0 is asked to be found out. Okay, x of 0 is called as the initial value of x of n. So to find out x of 0, okay, we use initial value theorem. To use the initial value theorem, x of n that we consider has to be right-sided. So how to make out whether that signal is right-sided or not, because that is nowhere told. Nowhere it is told that the x of n is right-sided sequence. So how we should make out, seeing this, the signal is right-sided or positive time sequence? How to make out that? Just observe this part. This is Z transform and this is ROC. Seeing the Z transform, it is not possible to say whether it is right side sequence or left side sequence. For example, why I'm saying that is, seeing the x of z, it is not possible, because seeing x of z, it is z by z minus 1 for u of n, and it is again z by z minus 1 for u of minus n minus 1. Get that point? The Z transform would be sometimes same for right sided as well as left sided sequences. So seeing the ROC, we should be able to say that. So ROC says that it is outside Z greater than half circle. That means it is outside the circle with radius half. Now, seeing this ROC, can you tell me in your chat window, who all understands that? So seeing this ROC Z greater than half, can you tell me in chat window that whether the signal x of n is right sided or left sided? Can you tell me that? Those who have understood, can you give me the answers in chat window? The ROC says it is Z greater than magnitude Z greater than half. That means our region of convergence is outside the circle with radius half. So if the region of convergence is outside the radius half, it is positive time sequence or negative time sequence. Can you tell me that in the chat window now? Those who are understanding, those who have understood what is how to read the region of convergence, for which sequence it is outside the circle, for which sequence it is left inside the circle. So if you have that idea, you can give me that answer in the chat window now. Go on, do that now. If the ROC very clearly says it is outside the circle with radius half, so x of n is positive time sequence or negative time sequence. You can give me your answers in chat. Yeah, Ganashri says it is positive time sequence. Anybody else? Good, Ganashri, you respond. 54. You give me a you have your names. Why you don't have your names? Only register numbers. Register number 54 says positive time sequence. 41 says positive time sequence. Good, you're responding. Okay, Pooja is also responded. So it is, they're all positive time sequences. Good, you responded. Okay, why they're all positive time sequences? Why x of n is positive time? Because it is outside the circle. Fine, it is outside the circle. That's why it is positive time sequence. Fine. Now, so seeing this, we can say it is positive. X of n is positive time sequence. And if it is positive time sequence, it is also called as causal sequence. Okay, so causal sequences are given means initial value theorem can be used. So what does initial value theorem tells us? See, initial value theorem clearly tells us that if x of n is causal sequence or right-sided sequence, we can find out the initial value x of 0 by applying limit z tending to infinity to x of z. This is what initial value theorem is telling us. Now, here x of z is given, but that x of z is in terms of z inverse. Get that point? That x of z is in terms of z inverse. So this needs to be expressed in terms of z. So how to do that? Take this z as 1 by z, take the LCM. So it would be z minus half divided by z. So that z goes to the numerator. So it would become z by z minus half x of z. Here x of z in terms of z can be done as z by z minus half. Now I need to obtain x of 0, means you need to apply limit z tending to infinity to x of z. So let's apply limit z tending to infinity here. Now another question to you. You can respond to that in chat window again. If I apply limit z tending to infinity for this particular x of z, okay, what would be its value? What would be its value? In the chat window again. Yeah. In the chat window again, you can give your answers. What would be the value of x of z when we apply limit z tending to infinity? Okay. The hint is z is there in the numerator as well as it is in the denominator. So what would be the value of x of z when we apply limit z tending to infinity? Yeah, in the chat window you can respond now. Ganesh says it's 1. No, it's 1. Ganesh, sorry, it's not 1. I'll come to that. You mean to say Z is very good, very good. Register number 54 says indeterminate. Very good. That's correct. It's indeterminate. Yeah. Why it's indeterminate? Why we are not saying it's 1? Ganesh, understand this. We have Z in the numerator as well as we have Z in the denominator. Here, this is what we are looking at. See, we have z in the numerator as well as z in the denominator. So that means when I apply limit z tending to infinity, so this is also infinity and this is also infinity. And I don't know what infinity is. Infinity is a number which I don't know. So when you don't know the number and when you say this is infinity and this is infinity, they can be different numbers. We don't know because we don't know what infinity are. So that's why this infinity by infinity cannot be 1. We cannot divide infinity by infinity and that cannot be 1. We cannot say infinity by infinity is 1. But it is indeterminate. It is not able, will not be able to determine that. So it is indeterminate form. Understand that? So it is indeterminate form. So if it is indeterminate form, okay, we use a rule. We use a rule. Which rule is that? Again in chat window. Which rule is that? If it is indeterminate form, if it is infinity by infinity, I think you have done this in your M1, M2 or maybe in POC itself. How to apply limits? How to apply the limits when it is infinity by infinity, when it is indeterminate form. L'Hospital's rule. Exactly. Who's 54? Can you write your name? 54? 54 is Neha. As good. Change your put your name also in along with your register number, Neha. Good Neha. That's L'Hospitals. Okay. And Santosh, right? 52. Good man. L'Hospital, right? Is L'Hospital's rule is correct. So you need to apply L'Hospital's rule. What is L'Hospital's rule now? How to apply L'Hospital's rule? Let's go again. Okay. To this we have to apply why we are applying L'Hospital's rule is because we are getting infinity by infinity. Fine. So when we have infinity by infinity, it is indeterminate form, but I want some value to be found out because I'm asked to find out x of 0 and x of 0 is obtained by applying limits. Okay. So L'Hospital rule says that we need to differentiate the numerator as well as denominator with respect to z, and keep those values in the same place. So differentiate this with respect to z, differentiate this with respect to z, and see what you get. And still some z's remain there, means apply limits z tending to infinity. If no z is there, it's end of it. Okay, so what does that mean now? Differentiating z with respect to z is 1. So in the numerator you have 1. Differentiating z with respect to z here again gives you 1. But differentiating this half with respect to z would give you 0. So you have 1 by 1. So x of z is 1. So if you apply limit z tending to infinity to this x of z, that will give you 1, and that is what is your x of 0. Understand? So this is how we find out the x of 0, that is the initial value, by using initial value theorem. But before using the initial value theorem, you need to confirm that the given sequence is right-sided sequence or causal sequence. Okay, so let's see the next problem now. Let x of n be the left-sided sequence that is equal to 0 for n greater than 0. Understand x of n, what type x of n is. X of n is a right-sided, left-sided sequence, sorry, it's a left-sided sequence. And soon after it's left-sided, you should understand it's not causal, it is non-causal. And the initial value theorem is not applicable for non-causal sequences. The left-sided sequences, the initial value theorem is not applicable. Okay, and it is also defining the range of x of n. Can you tell me the range of x of n by seeing 0? It is equal to 0 for n greater than 0, it says. What is the range of the signal? X of n is 0 for 1 to infinity. It is non-zero for minus infinity to 0. So range of x of n is minus infinity to 0. Understand that? Okay. So it is left-sided. Since it is left-sided, initial value theorem is not applicable, but they have asked us to find out the initial value x of 0. So how to find out x of 0 without application of initial value theorem is the question here. Fine. Just look at this. That is whatever we discussed, that's the same thing is given. Since x of n is not a causal sequence, the initial value of x of n, namely x of 0, cannot be found out using initial value theorem. So we cannot use initial value theorem. Okay. What is the sequence? Sequence is left-sided, for which the range is minus infinity to 0, because for greater than 0 it is 0. That means for from 0 to minus infinity it is non-zero. So how can we give the z transform equation for this? See here, we can obtain x of z for such sequence by using this range of summation, because it is existing from minus infinity to 0. X of n's range is minus infinity to 0. We don't know what x of n is, but we know the range of x of n. Okay, so we can obtain the z transform of x of n by this equation. I hope everybody follow this. Right. Now, how can you expand this summation? How can you expand this summation? We can expand this summation like this. So I'm going from 0th sample to the infinity minus infinity sample. So what is 0th sample? Substitute n equal to 0. So it is x of 0, z to the power of 0, z to the power of 0 is 1. So that for n equal to 0, we have x of 0. What do we have for n equal to minus 1? For n equal to minus 1, it is x of minus 1. Z to the power of minus 1, that would become plus 1 here. Similarly, for n equal to minus 2, it is this. For n equal to minus 3, you'll get. So till n equal to minus infinity, this is written. Understand? Till equal to minus infinity, what powers of z we have? What powers of z we have? Do we have the positive powers of z or negative powers of z is the question. Since the given sequence is left-sided, we have only positive powers of z. Everybody get this point? We only have positive powers of z. Now with this equation, can you tell me how to get only x of 0 on the right hand side, eliminating all the other terms which involve positive powers of z? How to eliminate all other terms involving positive powers of z? So which limit do we need to apply is the question. If we apply what limit, we can nullify all other except x of 0 all other terms which involve positive powers of z. So that can be done by applying limit z tending to 0. So let's apply limit z tending to 0 to this x of z, which means that it is as good as applying limit z tending to 0 to this right hand side. So anyway, z is not there, this will be as it is, and there is z in every other term with increasing powers. Okay, so all the other terms except this would go 0 when we apply limit z tending to 0. Why did we apply limit z tending to infinity tending to 0? Because we want x of 0 to be found out, right? So x of 0 can be found out by applying limit z tending to infinity. So x of 0 is this. So x of z is given there. So that x of z is brought here. The same x of z which is in z inverse terms, okay, is obtained in terms of z because we are applying z tending to 0 limit. Okay, so if you apply z tending to 0, so this goes 0, 2 remains. These two terms go 0, this one remains. So it would be 2 by 1. So that's why the initial value would be 2. Okay, so this is how x of 0 is found out in the second problem. In the first problem, x of 0 is found out by initial value theorem. In the second problem, initial value theorem is not applicable. So this is what we have done to find out x of 0. I hope you've understood. This is simple stuff. If you just go refer to this again, you'll understand not at all a problem. Let's go with the next problem now. Find the z transform of the following sequence. Now, observe this very carefully. Is this a standard transform? Is the question. Okay. Is this a standard transform? The hint is 1 by n is there in x of n. The hint is 1 by n is there in the x of n. Suppose 1 by n is not there. Let's say. Suppose 1 by n is not there. Okay. Will it be a standard sequence? Just observe. There is a minus n here. Okay. Now this is minus 2 minus b to the power n. So this is minus and this minus can be got rid of by making this half. Okay. So it can become minus half to the power n. But this minus is not outside, it is inside. So it is minus b to the power n you can make. So except this actually is a standard. We can adjust at least adjust this to be a standard form. This. But this is there which is creating a problem in this case. So if 1 by, remember, if 1 by n is there, we cannot find out x of z straightforwardly. No, we cannot directly do that problem. So what else needs to be done? Because 1 by n is there, needs to be seen now. Okay, the culprit is this. He is posing the problems. So how to get rid of that problem is what is the lesson that we are going to learn from this particular problem. Same is going to be told here. Finding x of z is difficult due to the factor n inverse. This 1 by n is being referred to as n inverse. Okay, n inverse in x of n. So if this is there, n inverse is there, finding x of z is a problem. They say it's difficult. So what do we need to do? How do we proceed then? We proceed by defining a new sequence, that is y of n. In x of n, if there is 1 by n, it is difficult. So we define a new sequence y of n. How do we do that? Just see, it's very interesting. Okay. So if 1 by n is there, it's a problem. What if I take n to the left hand side? If I take this n to the left hand side, it would become nx of n. Is nx of n something that you know? Nx of n? We are multiplying n to a signal x of n. Which property you can think of? Which property you can think of when we bring n to the left hand side? Okay, and it looks nx of n. So we have a property which deals with that. That is differentiation in z domain. If we have nx of n, yes, we know how to respond to that. Okay, so that is what we are doing. We define a new function y of n, which is n x of n. Earlier we were given x of n. Now the same function x of n I would like to see as n x of n, and that new sequence n x of n is being called as y of n. That's it. Nothing great. Fine. Now this is going to help us a lot. How is it this? How is this going to help us? Is what we are going to see now. We apply. Is the application of Z transforms possible here? Yes. See here. Taking the Z transform on both sides. We actually have three sides there. Okay, on the whole equation. Taking Z transform on whole equation. What is Z transform of this? It is y of z. Z transform of y of n is y of z. What is Z transform of this? What is Z transform of this? Needs to be understood. See, Z transform of this is minus z d by dz of x of z. Minus z d by dz of x of z. Everyone understand? And how did we get this? We got this by differentiation on z domain. If you multiply n to a signal, okay, so we have to follow differentiation on z domain, which looks like minus z d by dz of x of z. So this is something that we have seen by properties. Okay, how did we write this? In place of 2 we have half. Why is that? In place of 2 we have half. Anybody who understands that? Can we go to chat window? Because I'll also be very confident. So if at least few understands that, I can hope that yeah, others can also do it. So in place of 2, okay, why do we have to write half? Yeah, get to chat window, those who know that answer. Yeah, why in place of 2 we have written half? Why in place of 2 we have written half? Okay, let me show that. Yeah, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. In place of 2 we have half. Just analyze that, why we have half in place of that. We have, let me tell you that we have half in place of that because we have minus n here, power of minus n. So this power of minus n is not a standard thing. So instead of this minus n, to have n here, so we made half to the power n, half to the power n. So it is half to the power n. That is why it is this. Why do we have minus here? Outside we don't have a minus. That's why this minus has to come here. So with standard sequence, negative time exponential, if you see, you will understand this. Negative time exponential, if you have understood, you will understand. Negative time exponential says it is minus b to the power n, u of minus n minus 1. Minus b to the power n, u of minus n minus 1. Okay, maybe I should have discussed that here. I should have brought that equation here. Okay, then it would have been much easier for you. Let's not bother. Let's just understand. Okay, in place of, in this, there should be a minus of b, so there is no minus outside. That's why we are compensating that by having a minus on the right hand side, on the z transform side. And this plus is because it is not b. We could have written z minus b, but this b is negative. That's why it's become z minus of minus b. That's why it becomes z plus b. So it is z plus half. In this place we have half when this becomes positive. And why this region of convergence is z less than half? Why the region of convergence is z less than half? Needs to be understood. Why it's less than half? That means why it is inside the circle with radius half? It is inside the circle with radius half because where it is yeah, how do we say that? By seeing the negative time sequence. It need not be exponential. For any negative time sequence, it is inside the circle. So since it is negative time, it is inside the circle with radius half. Okay. So in the next step, what we do is We are actually finding out x of z, mind you. We are actually finding out x of z. So this is not a matter to me. You can ignore this now. Okay, the purpose is fulfilled. We shall ignore this. Now, okay, there is a minus z on the right hand side. There is a minus z on the left hand side. Just cancel these two. So we'll be left with differentiation of x of z 1 by z plus half. We get 1 by z plus half here. Now x of z needs to be understood. Okay, x of z needs to be obtained. How to obtain x of z? By integrating. We have a differential, we shall integrate that. So when we integrate, we'll have x of z here, and when we integrate, it is log of the denominator, because integration of 1 by x is log x. Integration of 1 by x is log x. I hope I'm making the right statement. So integration of this would give you log of z plus half with the same region of convergence that we had seen earlier. Okay, so this is how x of z is found out. This is a peculiar problem, a unique one, because 1 by n is there. So if 1 by n is there, you need to take that n onto the left hand side and call that as a new sequence. That's it. Fine. Otherwise, yeah, you need to be a little good with this negative time exponential. I've not given you those details. I've not given you those details. Okay, so you need to be a little good with that. Fine. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. Okay, wherein we are again asked to find out the z transform of u of minus n using the properties. So using the properties, we are trying to do this. Again going back. I'm just trying to solve some more problems. Okay, we have two textbooks, mind you. We have two textbooks. One textbook I'm referring is by Ganesh Rao and Satish Tunga. I hope many of you have that textbook by Ganesh Rao. Ganesh Rao actually has written the textbook for network analysis also, and is written for signals and system also. And I don't know, I feel happy with the way he picks the proper problem. He picks all variety of problems. In network analysis also he does that, and in signals and systems also he's doing it. Okay, so it's quite good. So I'm referring that book, and I'm referring another book by an author, Uday Kumar. Okay, I'm referring to another book by Uday Kumar. Yeah, you can give attendance. I think some of you have started giving the attendance. So you are 46. All 46 people can give the attendance now. After your attendance, I'll start, because when it says less than a minute, gives 1 minute. I thought, but it gives only 10 seconds after it says less than a minute. So give your attendance, not a problem. We'll continue after that. Don't leave. Don't leave giving your attendance, because I'm going to explain you this. Okay, another textbook that I'm referring to is by Uday Kumar, and this person has also picked up nice problems. Okay, uh, the representation of this transforms is little different. Representation of transform is little different. But let's not bother. Let's just try to understand how this is the problem that I've picked by Uday Kumar, and I've been scanning these textbooks, and I'm picking those equations as images onto the slides. Okay, so you will see these equations in little different form, but very understandable form, not at all difficult. Okay, only 40 have given attendance, 6 more people have to give that fast. Okay, we are left with 8 minutes, but we shall solve this problem before that. Yeah. So this given is this. We are asked to find out the Z transform of this. Which property needs to be made use of here? Which property needs to be made use of? It is U of minus n. The basic signal is what? Basic signal is U of n. So you need to know what is the Z transform of U of n. You have to remember that you're not solving for it. You need to know what is the Z transform of U of n. Z transform of U of n is Z by Z minus 1, with region of convergence being outside the radius, outside the circle with radius 1. Okay, after you have the Z transform of U of n, you need to find out U of minus 1 minus n by using the property. Which property would hold good here? The property that holds good here is time reversal property. Time reversal property. See here. U of n is there. Okay, we are applying Z transform on this. Ganesh Rao dealt with differently. We used to write Z in the bracket. Okay, I'll just show you the difference in. Yeah, I'll just show you that somewhere. Yeah, this is how Ganesh Rao used to deal with Z transform of. Z transform of this is this. How this is how Ganesh Rao deals with, and how what Uday Kumar is doing. Uday Kumar takes this and puts a two-sided arrow here in between. So just to represent that, it is what Z transform pair. This is also Z transform. If you apply Z transform on this, you will get this. Okay, so this is how Ganesh Rao is dealing, and yeah, this is how Uday Kumar is dealing. It's one and the same. Okay, just get used to this particular representation also. Z transform pair. If you apply Z transform on this, you'll get this, and this is the region of convergence. Okay, putting this semicolon. If something is written here, it means it is region of convergence. Uday Kumar does not particularly says this is region of convergence. It is understood. It is standard notation. If you don't write ROC also, it's understood that this is region of convergence. Okay, now using the time reversal property. What time reversal property says? Remember that? What time reversal property says? Time reversal property says that if you have x of z for x of n, for x of minus n, what you need to do is in x of z, you need to replace z by 1 by z. That is what is being told here. See here? If you have x of n and if you find out the z transform of x of n to be x of z, okay, then z transform of x of minus n can be found out by replacing z by 1 by z. Everyone understand? So this is time reversal property. If it is minus n, it is 1 by z in terms of in place of z. So how can you find out the z transform of this? So in place of x of n, you have u of n. In place of x of n, you have u of n. What is z transform of u of n? Z transform of u of n is z by z minus 1. So you have z by z minus n in this form, this place. In place of x of n, if you have u of n, in place of x of z, you will have z by z minus 1. Now, in place of x of minus n, if you have u of minus n, what needs to be done on this? What needs to be done on this? In this, you have to replace z by 1 by z. That is what is done here. We replaced, when you have u of minus n in this place, we replaced, okay, this z by z minus 1 that is written here, still not done. How does it look like? If you replace z by z minus, in this also you need to replace that. I didn't write here, I should write that here. In the region of convergence is also z has to be replaced by 1 by z. So if 1 by z is greater than 1, it is as good as saying z is less than 1. It is 1 by z greater than 1. Okay, in place of z we have 1 by z. How does it look like? So z transform of u of minus n is 1 by 1 minus z with z less than 1. How did it become z less than 1? Because this is negative time sequence. This is negative time sequence. So the region of convergence should be inside the circle with radius 1. Everybody is okay with that? It's inside the circle with radius 1. Fine. So this is how the z transform of u of minus n is found out. How to find out the z transform of this using the appropriate properties. First, identify the standard sequence in this. Identify the standard sequence in this. Which is the standard sequence? 2 power n u of n is the standard sequence. U of minus n is there. Okay, so we shall deal with this later steps. But to begin with, you should understand there is 2 power n and u of minus n. Okay, we know what is it, z transform of 2 power n u of n. We know the z transform of 2 power n u of n. Okay, but there is a minus here. Fine. So what we should understand here, there is something that one needs to do before we solve the problem. That I'll tell you now. Before solving the problem, everybody understand. We have 2 minutes left. Maybe within that time I'll be able to convey you this. If not, I'll again take the same point in the next class. We're not solving the problem, but there's something very important that needs to be done here. There are some signals which are called as valid signals. There are signals which are called as invalid signals. What is invalid here? If you take this standard, leave this 3 for a while. Okay, see here, this is the standard signal. 2 power n u of n is the standard signal. But in 2 power n u of n, we have attached negative sign only to this n, and we have not attached negative sign to this n. So which is a problem? At this point, we have this minus n, this minus being attached to only one n, and we have not attached this minus to this n, and this is invalid way of representation. Okay, when we time reverse here, this minus n has to be attached to this also, which is not happening in this problem. Everybody is okay with that? So that is a concern. That is a concern. Somehow you need to attach minus sign here also, but the given signal should not be the different one. The given signal should not be the different one. So without changing the signal, you need to introduce minus sign here. Without changing the signal, you need to introduce minus sign. So how to do that? How to do that is something that we need to see. Okay, we shall see that in the next class with proper examples. Okay. Again, I'm telling you, these slides are already posted in Google Classroom. Go find them, download, and seeing that you prepare a proper notes. Okay, every time seeing the slide and preparing notes, not good. Okay, so we are left with no other option, so we are doing it online. Fine, but it's